So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Rocket League Replay Workshop. This is episode 10 of a series of almost a daily replay analysis that I'm going to be trying to do. I'm going to try to stay committed to this thing. I already missed 2 precious days, so all the uploads coming out of today are going to be a bit of a whammy here. I'm going to try to throw up 3 videos for tonight, just to make up for lost time. But yeah, the focus of this analysis is going to be on my buddy here, SpeedPhantom. He's been having a couple issues here and there, and we're trying to like suss it out as to whether if it's like a car mechanics thing, or if it's a something that's mental, something that is possibly distracting him away from the game a little bit, if it's his focus. We're trying to decode and figure out what could possibly his problem, so we're going to try to help him out. This is a 2v2. He's playing with me. Overall, a fairly sloppy game. We end up still, steamrolling against blue team here. We're going to try to break down most of his play, analyze as much as we can, and see if we can postulate something here. All for the sake of trying to help out my buddy. Just play to the best of his abilities. Everyone has their off nights every now and then, but if there's anything in this video that can possibly not necessarily completely cure him of whatever is happening, but at least be like a step up from how he was playing last night, then by all means we can try to help him out. So without further ado, let's get going, shall we? We shall. So, right off the bat here, and again, whether this is, him not knowing what he doesn't know, or just not focusing, or not paying close enough attention to how the ball is being played here, yes, I'm up there with a bot, and I failed to get the right kickoff. I did not have a great night either, bottom line. That ends up rolling towards our side. It skips, okay, and I'll try to slow it down here too. 25% speed. Ball's in the air, it's not rolling, it's skipping across the ground, and then it hits the gutter, okay? Bounces off of it. And you should, it's really hard to see. I'll try to draw it out here, actually. If I can get my handy dandy easy peasy whiteboard of greatness here. Let's see. So it's extremely hard to see, especially with YouTube kind of messing with some of my videos as of late, but with my selection tool, which is not what I'm trying to use here. Okay. The ball reticle, okay? Extremely useful tool in terms of figuring out where the ball is in an XZ space. Just trying to see how close it is to the wall, or if it's actually bouncing away from the wall. And in this replay, where I stopped it, the reticle is already away from the wall, and it's going to go even further than that. But SpeedPhantom still tries to go up along against the wall, maybe to go for a really brave peel, but it does not work out at all. Play it out. So yeah, very evident it's already away from the wall. He does realize it's already too late, but he still goes forward anyway, and then makes the U-turn. Now, if you realize that you've already made the mistake of going up towards the wall when the ball's not on the wall in the first place, he should have U-turned towards his left. He should have turned this way, instead of going up like that and then U-turning, because you lose about 1/4 to half a second doing that. By now he should have known, oh, okay, I can't really get this ball. This ball's peeling way faster than I thought it would away from the wall. I need to go back to net and resume rotation. And let me just bring this back to 100. And again, we're just gonna try to follow closely with SpeedPhantom's play, not so much everyone else's. Just to try to figure out what's going on here. So right here, good job on SpeedPhantom not to just drive and boost, but actually front flip to get a little bit of distance ahead, which is nice to see. Really good pass by SpeedPhantom, a very light touch with the edge of his car, but he didn't force himself to kick into the ball, making the ball like go way faster than it should. It was just a really nice light tap that was far away enough from the blue defenders to not really quite reach very quickly. I didn't anticipate that kind of pass, so I didn't quite get it, but I still should have gotten the goal from it to help finish SpeedPhantom's play here. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with this goal. It goes in, okay? It's a breakaway attempt. It works. It's a success. It's fine. I just want to try to figure out why he front flipped after hitting the ball. And again, I'm not saying this is the wrong way to score. It isn't. It went in anyway. It's fine. We got something. Perfectly fine. But I'm slowly realizing that in a majority of replays that do have SpeedPhantom in it, there are moments where he does seem a little bit late with his actions. So let me try to slow this down. 25%. Okay, maybe a little move up a little bit here. So one tap, it chips it forward, high velocity. SpeedPhantom tries to catch up to it, okay, just to get the final punch. Boom. But then by the time he's already hit the ball the second time, he starts to flip. Now, again, it's not a bad thing. Maybe he's just trying to get ahead of the ball again, just in case, to make up for lost distance. Sorry, not lost distance, but trying to get extra distance to catch up with the ball in the case he needs to hit it a third time. That was an odd touch. Okay, hold on, let's fast forward. Okay. So he ends up like hitting the ball, and then he flips into it right afterwards. And I'm trying to think. There will be lots of times he will be trying to go for a really hard clear or really hard shot using the front flip, okay, the front dodge. But then it almost is like he doesn't make clean contact with the ball, and that happens more often than not. And this is just to kind of display, I guess, him not hitting his front flip on time to hit the ball. Because the body of his car has already hit the ball at this point already, and then he decides to front flip, I guess to give it extra power. Like, he got the ball to chip up higher for the second hit because the ball was already on its way away from the ground. The ball had momentum moving up. It was not because of his front flip, but he was late with his front flip. This might show up here and there in spots throughout this replay, and then we'll try to pick those up. But I just want to point out that there are times where he does see the play, he knows what he needs to do, but he tends to be really late with his actions. He misses the boost there. I guess he was able to manage with just a small boost for now. Or he already had a full tank at that point, so he wanted to save it. That was a good shot. I think over here, I thought he was a little too late to the ball. Okay, so I was wrong. Squishies, let's see. And by the way, this is not Squishy Muffins. This is just another Squishy. Squishy was in position to chip this way ahead of myself, who was already up front in the blue end there. I'm already out of the play, and Squishy is in position to go for the chip. Right here, okay? Squishy is in position. He waits after the first bounce to decide what he wants to do with it, right? So SpeedPhantom's positioning here is actually fine. In the case Squishy does go for like a long throw towards our backboard, towards our corner, or towards our own net. Perfectly fine. Good positioning. Especially with SpeedPhantom's car looking towards our own end rather than towards blue. Whoops. Let's see. There we go. I was able to just kind of steal the ball away from Squishy a tiny bit, and then SpeedPhantom goes for a really good kick. That was good. Good score. Awkward jump. Okay, so I understand why he jumped. I get it. Because he wanted to stop the ball from going any further towards our end, right here. He was supposed to jump at this point, but he didn't. He jumped late. Again, just trying to figure out why he's late to it, you know? It's really easy to say, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. But it's another thing to figure out why he's late to those things. So again, just trying to help him out. You're not reading the play properly and not really looking at where the ball is. Like, it probably would have helped him to turn off ball cam right after Squishy's hit towards the not the net, but towards the wall there, bouncing it back out to midfield. SpeedPhantom should have toggled ball cam right here to get a better look at how he should side flip or front flip into the ball to push it further into the blue end. But he didn't. And he missed it. Toggle ball cam often. It is so useful. Please do it. Yeah, I don't have much of an issue with this play, except he didn't steal the corner boost. He just missed it. He was trying to follow the ball, which is fine. But like, 9 times out of 10 now, where we are in ranking, so to speak, we're dealing with opponents who are able to clear this type of pass easily. Anything rolling along their own corner or rolling against their backboard with very little peel, the enemy team will find it really easy to just kind of hit it back towards the same corner we're rolling the ball at. And that's what kind of happens here. Not a hot clear by Motown. I don't have good coverage on that either. So they end up pushing this one forward. Slightly risky here. Especially as a Batmobile. And I'll try to slow this down here too. Come on, slow down. There we go. So Motown's going for a dribble here. Just trying to deke out SpeedPhantom. He almost does it. Almost. But I think SpeedPhantom was fairly lucky in getting enough of his nose to touch the ball to chip it away from us. But I've been trying to make the point here to SpeedPhantom is because he has a Batmobile, he has so much surface area on the top and bottom of his car versus the very tip of his nose, the sides and the back end. You want to make full use of, and I made this analogy last night with him. It's almost like you're swatting a fly from your wall, but rather than using the palm of your hand to hit the fly off the wall, or like totally smush it and kill it, you're trying to hit it with like your fingertips, right? And unless you're some like kung fu master that can really do this shit fast, right? smack that fly on the wall using your own bare fingertips, you won't really have a high enough chance to really get the fly. And chances are that thing will escape. You want to hit it with the palm of your hand, and that's the analogy I'm making with the Batmobile. You want to hit it with its largest surface area, and that's with the top and bottom end of the car. So my suggestion to him, with this kind of 50-50 he's dealing with, is to front flip into the ball on time. But he doesn't do it on time. He does do a flip. Okay? And I'm going to try to not screw this camera thing up. Okay, yeah. So he hits it with his nose, but then he goes for a left dodge. Like a left flip. I'm going to show it again here. Maybe a little faster. He looks at it with ball cam on, which isn't a huge issue. He was straight on with the ball, but then he left flips, right? I think he's just not toggling ball cam enough, and that's why he's making these small angular mistakes and with regards to how he's hitting the ball. Again, just kind of an example of just not quite being in the game or focusing on the game as much as he kind of should. Kickoff's extremely important, but then he decides to like flip away from the ball. And I'm a victim of this too. I do this all the time as well, and it's not good. But again, kickoffs with ball cam just slightly riskier than with it off, because you wouldn't be flipping the wrong way like that if you had ball cam off. A slightly late reaction, but I don't have a huge deal with the SpeedPhantom. Not even preemptively jumping for it, but just, again, late, you know? And I'm all the way at the far back. Good push onto Squishy there. Good physical play, just to keep him on his toes. And you could already tell Squishy's a little bit rattled. That's a great steal by SpeedPhantom. I try to make a pass, doesn't quite make it all the way to center. Pretty good 50-50 by SpeedPhantom. Doesn't go in our net. Not optimal, but it's fine. Again, he did not make clean contact with it at that point, but that's okay. I try to bring it to center again for him. Motown gets an easy block. So again, this is like, you know, car mechanics here, and just getting used to knowing how to aerial for certain shots here. Not saying that he could have definitely gotten this in. I think blue team did a decent job of getting the block on this one. Motown with a great touch. SpeedPhantom was not hitting the brakes here. He should have decelerated first before going up, because he's carrying all the momentum he's carrying, you know, hitting R2, but knowing that the ball is as high up as it is and has a good chance of like bouncing off of the crossbar and coming out, you want to get more height rather than forward reach, you know? So you need to hit the brakes here. You don't need to go for a complete stop. You just need to slow down. Just need to hit L2 for like a quarter of a second to slow down and then go for the jump. But it's fine. It still goes in. Not a huge deal. But in future plays where if I was not there to get the goal in, or if it's a 3v3, and both of us, me and Farrak, or me or Savior, or me or Marty, whoever is in our team, if we're not, you know, there to help him out, you know, then it's not a complete play. It's a missed opportunity. You want to treat every shot, every ball, especially ones that were free, just like this one here, like, you want to treat them like it's your last play. You want to make sure that you're gonna get it. Just a small example of like just slow reaction to the peel. Like, he sees the peel, but I think in his head he was trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do mechanically? What buttons am I supposed to press in order to get this ball? And he was almost right. He jumped away from the wall, which is good, right? You hear the jump. But then he does a dodge towards one of his sides, right? A little too early. I think he would have still been able to hit the ball at that point, but the easiest way to reach this kind of ball is to jump away from the wall and then tilt your car, okay? You hold back on the left analog stick. You tilt your car, so it's like your nose is pointing away from the wall, okay? That's when you can get extra leverage away, boosting away from the wall and into the ball itself. But he relies on a simple jump and a dodge to get there, and that, it's a trick, right? It's not an easy thing to do versus the jumping away from the wall and then tilting and boosting. It's a car mechanic thing. I think it might just take more practice. But I did tell him how to do it. And just a small note on just general recovery. I learned a lot about recovering with my car better, especially after I've made an aerial shot, through freestyling. Just understanding how to rotate the car better and get it back on its feet. You don't need to know freestyling to know how to recover properly, but like, you don't want to fumble like that, because you lose a fifth or a sixth of a second in your rotation, and you never know when it'll ever matter, you know? You want to be able to land on your feet at all times. Really good shot by Motown there. I peeled away from this play thinking that SpeedPhantom would move up with me, but he did not. He was trying to go for boost after the kickoff. Let's see what happened here. The kickoff happens. He decides to go for corner boost. He defaulted to the corner after I've already won the 50-50 on the sidewall there. So another thing about like paying attention here, and again, like nobody's perfect. Sometimes I default to a certain boost when I shouldn't be. But here, this could have been preventable if SpeedPhantom was further up with the play with me, and that was kind of what I thought here. That's why I stayed away from the ball after I made my 50-50 on that wall there. Because like if SpeedPhantom went straight for the mid boost here, he would be further up with me for the play. Whether he had a clean shot towards there or not, you know, it's kind of up in the air, literally. But he went for the corner boost, and that puts him back towards our home position where our net is, and away from my play that I'm trying to make for him, right? That ball is suspended up there for about like 2 or 3 seconds with no touches whatsoever. And blue team was kind of thinking, oh no, SpeedPhantom's gonna get this one. Everyone watch out. Milkman's retreating. Motown is kind of retreating, but he sees that SpeedPhantom isn't even remotely close to winning this 50-50 if he even tries. So Motown is smart, taking advantage of our mispositioning. Now, there's a chance I could have recognized that, hey, my buddy SpeedPhantom, he's not getting this ball, right? In our comms, he didn't quite say, oh, I'm at the back, I'm on defense. I would have defended with him, but I did not know that. I stayed up with the play thinking that he would go up for it, and nothing happened. And I was like, wait, what's going on? Are you going to get this ball? This is your ball. But he stayed back. He didn't say that he was staying back either, so there's some miscommunication for sure. He definitely could have jumped for this one. Let's see. Oh, I'm not doing this properly. Okay, 50. So right after this touch. Okay, so he tries to turn immediately. Jumping right here and tipping his nose up probably would have chipped the ball towards our crossbar or right above our net. Maybe. But that was a tough ball to stop. Another thing I pointed out with SpeedPhantom last night was that individual players in a 2v2 are way more lethal than they are in 3v3. Basically because of the fact that there's way more boost distribution between every player on the field. It's not a 3v3 where there's 6 players that are, you know, hungering for boost. There's 4, right? You can split 6, you know, big boosts and plenty more small boosts amongst 4 people. And that can be really dangerous. And that means people can be way more aggressive too. So if you're playing more defensively or in a more 3v3 way, then you might be setting yourself and your teammate back. Another misread here. Just again, the ball is skipping. Hits the gutter. Of course it's going to peel away from the wall, and it totally does. But he decides to drive up the wall anyway. He should have attacked this ball right after this touch too, because he should have realized that, hey, Milkman is going to be stuck on the wall here trying to recover. And he is. And it's hard to jump away from that curve too. Just a small misplay. But, you know, not a huge deal. We ended up winning anyway, but blue team was not that hot defending. And we had way more opportunities than they did in terms of scoring. So I do want to believe that maybe more than half of his case is just car mechanics. But a lot of these things I already did mention to him already, so I think it's just the fact that he hasn't put enough time into it yet. And everyone learns at a different pace too. You don't want to push yourself to be some kind of like rock star grand champion status, you know, at like, you know, from prospect elite to grand champion in like a day or two. I don't want to say it's impossible, but like, you tell me if anyone's done that. Yeah, so like more than half I think of his issue is car mechanics, and then the latter half is all in the mind. Like, I think, you know, not just looking at the play on the field here, you know, where I'm watching this replay, I'm being very analytic and critical of all the movements. But I think what tends to be kind of forgotten is kind of, you know, the situation you're in at home too. I know SpeedPhantom has a lot of distractions at home, you know, phone calls and family members and all that stuff. So that can be like a mental block that can keep him from focusing properly. Versus me, who lives in a bachelor apartment and just kind of like doing whatever he wants. So I want to take that into consideration too. Is it a major factor? Who knows? It can be, but it doesn't have to be, right? Overall, I do think SpeedPhantom is getting better, considering where he was before. But I've seen him play like a god before, and against very competent, you know, opponents too. Not Not these two here, not to like throw shade and shit, but something to be mindful of, you know? Like if you find yourself losing focus or getting distracted, just try to find something, some kind of anchor in your life, an activity or something that you can do for a couple minutes, whether it's meditating or playing a different game before coming to this one. You know, just something to kind of just like reset you, especially when, you know, you're coming home after work or after school or after anything really, and you need to just kind of like reset yourself mentally. You need to find some sort of anchor. Slight miscommunication here, right here. I thought SpeedPhantom was going for him, but then he saw me and was being really polite and driving away from it. But I drove away from it thinking he was going to get it, so we're both overly polite people. Which is also not a great asset, you know, to have in a team game here. But anyway, that's the replay analysis for episode 10. I hope you guys got something out of this. If you guys have any questions, feedback, criticisms, kudos, please do let me know. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter. I'm gonna try to throw up 2 more videos for today, again, just to make up for lost time. But yeah, I'll see you folks next time. Please subscribe, like, dislike, and shit. All the stuff. I enjoy feedback. But yeah, I'm gonna try to help SpeedPhantom get to the bottom of this, because I know he's a better player. I really do. I really, really do. You hear me? I think you're a better player. I've seen potential. I've seen it.